Celebrity True or False.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, that's our production value right there. And interestingly enough, though, I will go off script right here because I just heard Jack Nicholson's voice.
Yeah.
Is it true you got your first ever role in the movies, Mary, by running into Jack Nicholson on a movie lot, and he ran into you and wanted you to be in Going South? Is that a true story for your career?
Partly true.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be sitting here without him.
Without Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, I don't. But I was in a comedy improv show at the Manhattan Theater Club. Chris Guest, who directed some of my
Waiting for Guffman.
Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. His mother was a casting director. She and a woman named Mary Buck saw me in that comedy improv show and sent me to this big casting director who's casting a lot of movies. She said, I would love to have you in for this movie called Going South, but it's mostly going to be models or well-known actresses, and you don't really fit into that category. And so I was almost out the door, and I turned around and said, I'm just going to go sit out there and give you a chance to think about that for a minute in case you want me to read.
Right.
And this was so not me. This was like somebody telling me what to do from up there because I had never been that pushy. And so I went out and sat down and I went, why were you so pushy? That's the most important person you've ever met in the almost 7 years you've been a waitress in New York studying acting and acting for no money. Go apologize. And then while I'm composing my apology, I see 2 feet and a voice says, are you waiting to see me? And I think, that sounded like Jack Nicholson, who I, as far as I knew, was in Los Angeles. And I said, no. And he goes, why not? And I said, I look up and indeed it is he. And I said, because I don't have a script. He got a script, handed it to me, said, you have 10 minutes tomorrow. I came back.
No kidding.
Yeah, I came back. I started reading. He started canceling appointments or rearranging things. I kept standing up saying, thank you, and he goes, no, let's read one more. His pizza came. I stood up to leave. He goes, sit down, eat the pizza, keep reading. We read the entire thing twice, and somehow I got to go to Hollywood for a screen test, and somehow by a miracle, even though all the other testing people were huge stars, I got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he have nice shoes?
Yes, he had nice shoes.
He had Jack Nicholson shoes?
Yeah, he was, he was my mentor, and he couldn't have been a better guy to me. He was great.
About that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. All right,
Yeah.
First one for you, Ted. True or false, you auditioned for your role of Sam Malone in Cheers with Shelley Long, but had no idea you'd gotten the role when you left at all.
Yeah, that was a big process. There were 3 couples that got paired up, 3 Sam Malones, 3 Diane Chambers, and I got paired up, thank God, with Shelley, because Shelley was, I think of all the cast members, she was the one that came out of the chute just spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got to audition with her, and I do believe that's one of the big reasons I got the part.
But you had no idea when you left that you had gotten the role? You had
No, you didn't. Back that you waited for 2 or 3 weeks while they made up their mind.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Do you remember who the other Sam and Dianes were? Were there anybody?
Yeah, a tight end from the Rams.
Was it Fred Dreyer?
Fred, very good. Yeah, and I think Julie Duffy, and then
Fred Dreyer. You were going up against a tight end from the Los Angeles Rams.
because that's what he was going to be, a tight end.
Oh.
And then when I got up, they went, nah.
Let's make him a pitcher.
Maybe a pitcher, maybe an alcoholic relief pitcher. That worked.
They looked at you. You're a more alcoholic
Yeah.
relief pitcher than Los Angeles Rams tight end. Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
And is it true that down the road that you and Shelley Long, they had you shoot an actual scene where your characters got married in front of a live studio audience to hide the fact she was leaving the show? Is that a true
Gosh,
aspect?
I wonder.
of
I
Cheers?
think we did do several versions. I don't remember if we actually got married in one of the, but there were, it wasn't just to fool the audience or whatever. It was also, they didn't quite know where they wanted to go with it.
What was it like being on that set when it was just beginning to just take off and must-see television on must-see TV?
I don't think any of us
before?
had done TV, or not many of us had done TV before or anything before. So I think we were spoiled. We just thought, oh, this is what happens when you do television. It was very rock and roll. You were hired to play an idiot in a bar surrounded by other idiots, and you were kind of in that idiot period of your life. So it was just a dream come true.
Yeah, and just look at that photograph that's right there. Obviously, that was
idiots. You spoke to Woody Harrelson, our biggest idiot.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Isn't
indeed.
he a hoot?
As a matter of fact, I do believe I have a question for you on that front coming up later in the Celebrity True or False. Next up, True or False, Mary.
Yeah.
You had never seen Will Ferrell in his elf costume or even seen a mock-up of it until the day he walked onto the set to film the syrup on spaghetti scene.
That is absolutely true. And it is also true that, well, I have a giggling problem. I get very tickled, and I have a lot of trouble reining it in. And that day, it was brutal. Because we're all used to that image now. We've all seen it. You would even know it in silhouette, but I just couldn't get over it. It was so brilliant. He was so funny. And he was just, I loved every second of it. And then a few months after we wrapped, because we'd really had a great time together, he called and he said, "You played my stepmom in Elf. Would it offend you if I asked you to play my actual mom in a movie called Step Brothers?" And I said, "Let me look up how much our age difference is." So I did, and I'm like, "Well, I would have had to have had you at 11, but I would be offended if you ask anyone else. I will definitely play your mom again."
So there's some follow-up questions, yes, and we've got a Step Brothers one later on in this segment here as well. But two follow-up questions on that. First of all, did you know he was going to pour syrup on the spaghetti, or that was completely ad-libbed? Did you know that was coming when he walks in his elf costume? Or was that just totally off the cuff?
I don't think I did know, and then it got passed around, so we all ended up eating it. So I have tasted that.
Which
and
isn't bad, you said.
It's not. I've tasted worse in my life, and it's also great because kids always ask me. That's the one biggest question is, did you really eat that spaghetti with maple syrup?
So the answer is yes, you
did.
Yes. With James Caan? Like that?
Yes,
You're passing it
I
around?
don't know if James actually, chowed down on it, but I had some.
All right. So then the second follow-up question is, you were more offended by the potential age difference than the subject matter of Step Brothers? Is that what you're saying to me?
I love.
that's a sweet
Step
spot.
Brothers is my kind of. People think I'm a certain way or whatever, but I've been surrounded by men in my life by all their grossness and like all their.
She's trying not to say fart humor. Is
all
pretty much
that
a sweet
is
spot.
totally what makes me laugh.
It's interesting, Ted, you mentioned that, because I do have a Celebrity True or False for you. We're going to go from the back pocket right here. Ted Danson, Celebrity True or False. True or False? Ted, you and Leslie Nielsen got kicked off of planes and once asked to leave a restaurant because of Leslie Nielsen's famous fart machine.
True. The plane part, true.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were,
That's amazing.
it was back when they would say to celebrities, "You want to board first?" And
Yes.
Leslie said yes. So we were in the first seats as people came through. Every third person, he would do this little handheld.
It was this. What
Yeah.
was it? It was like some sort
It
of.
was a
little-
handheld little bellows thing
Yeah.
that he could have in his hand and control it and do all sorts of different things. Every third person, and it offended. And they came and asked him, "Mr. Please don't, please stop." He wouldn't. Literally, he would not stop.
What were you doing on a plane with Leslie Nielsen? Do you remember the
He
circumstances?
was coaching me how to use the.
So they were offended by him with the prank, not
Yeah,
because
and-
they thought he was actually letting off
Yeah,
emitting something.
because the people were. It made them think that the person behind them in line thought it might have been them. So it put people on the spot.
Oh,
He was
how
relentless.
wonderful. Why did
like
I
that, huh?
miss that?
You had no idea. This is news to you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But Dudley, I worked with Dudley Moore, and he was very fond of that thing.
Oh, he did
Yeah,
it too?
yeah.
Dudley Moore did it too?
Oh, totally. Oh, totally.
Oh, my God. All right, so then here's another one. Ted, you once played hooky from taping Cheers to go on John Ratzenberger's new boat and got caught in weather sailing to Catalina with Woody Harrelson.
You
And
better. I
George
think you
and
better tell
Kelsey.
the whole story.
Yes, and we had a little buzz going even before we got on the boat.
That's odd with Woody. I couldn't have picked that up.
No, it was like
Yeah.
it was hooky. It was a free pass. You could do anything. You're on a boat. And he said, "Have you ever had mushrooms?" And I said, "No." And I thought, "Whoa, this is the day to do it." But we hadn't had breakfast, so part of me was hungry. So way more than should have. And then we hit the tail end of bad weather coming up out of Mexico, and it was one of these kind of
And who
moments.
was on the boat?
John Ratzenberg, George went, Kelsey was asleep down below.
Yes.
And me and Woody.
So, like, most of Cheers was on this
Everybody except Rhea and Shelley. Rhea was pissed.
boat. She was pissed about not
Left
getting
out,
invited?
being left out, yeah.
Even after she found out there was some bad weather and everything like that? Or she...
I don't think it was. It
Okay.
wasn't horrible weather. It was
Okay.
just very rolly, pitchy kind of thing. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I've never heard that story
The mushroom
before.
part? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. And so that actually went down. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Catalina and wine mixers, let's get into this right here, Mary. And this kind of dovetails into what I asked before and what you said before. True or false? In Step Brothers, they had to use a shot of you laughing during the sleepwalking scene because there were no takes of you not laughing.
That is correct. I asked him when I saw the movie. I asked Adam McKay, "Why did you use the take where you can see I'm starting to laugh?"
Yes.
And he goes, "Mary, there are no takes without you laughing. There's nothing. We dug in there, tried to find one." Yeah.
Just look at that right there. It just makes you laugh to begin
It was
with.
amazing. And
Funniest
Richard
movie ever.
Jenkins, who was really my partner in crime, because it was our job to sort of sell that these two idiots had parents that, had them live with them. And Richard was just magnificent in that part. He was so much fun.
Yeah, we had Richard on this show a few years ago, and he said that Adam McKay came up to him before the Catalina wine mixer moment and say, just tell him about Find Your Inner Dinosaur.
Yes.
And he did it,
Yeah.
thinking there's no way this is making the movie.
Yes.
And it made the movie.
It totally made the movie. It was wonderful.
Did you have a moment like that with you?
Well,
or-
Oh, well.
I mean, I was
Please.
watching his hands go up into this little Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Right.
But they
hands.
would shout to you to say the filthiest things.
Yeah, they
Because they
love-
thought it'd be funny.
Well, Adam McKay who laughed so loudly during every take that they kept moving him farther and farther away from the set.
Because he was blowing the takes?
Yeah, he was like messing with their sound, and so, but he was so far away. They finally had to give him like a bullhorn to scream instructions, and all my instructions were just to say more and more obscene things because and there was like a whole group of people. This is a scene out in the front yard when they're fighting. And I
laughing
won't
just even
say
thinking
on
of it.
Disney what I said, but it was all it was all obscenity, which then you'd hear Adam McKay roaring, laughing from like half a block away. It was a crazy experience, but it was one of the most fun times of my life.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what was the crazier scene, the sleepwalking, the dinner scene? The dinner scene
Oh, that
where
was
the screaming and the
great.
yelling, and
Yeah.
Adam Scott basically saying he made of Ruben the story and the evening. It's classic. The whole thing is an
it is.
absolute classic. And I just found myself watching it with age inappropriate young
Yes.
kids of mine. And I thought to myself, what am I doing right
Why
now?
am I doing this?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. It's crazy
It's
because
one of those
I've
movies that people don't watch it 2 or 3 times. when you ask them, it'll
Yes.
be, oh, we watched it
Yeah,
every year.
I've seen it 47 times, or yes, and I've watched it with my 6-year-old, and I'm like, really? 'Cause that's embarrassing.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's outstanding. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.